You've got all the flavor of like a Sunday sauce with meatballs and everything, and pasta. None of the pasta, none of the carbs, all the flavor. You see, I can't always run this show and eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and not gain 1,000 pounds. Outside the show, I try to eat really well. I try to eat really low in sugar, really low in carbs. So when I crave a comforting bowl of pasta, that taste of Italy, this is the Italian feast that I make for myself. And like most things I cook, it starts with great ingredients. I want to thank Porter Road for sponsoring today's video, but more on them later. For now, let's just jump right into it. If you don't know how to make my weekday sauce, I'll leave a link down in the description. It starts with our favorite can of whole peeled plum tomatoes that we're just gonna run through a food mill so we get a nice puree or tomato passata. I like to make sure I get all the pulp scraped off the bottom of the food mill so I get a nice thick sauce. I'm gonna go with 2 huge and 1 of these small ones. I need garlic for broccolini, I need garlic for the tomato sauce. So I imagine your garlic cloves won't be this big, so just, use your judgment. I like my garlic sliced thinly for a little bit more mellow of a flavor. 1 for the tomato sauce, 1 for broccolini. Little basil stem for the tomato sauce. Set this up to the side. Got our tomato sauce ingredients over here. Next thing to prep is our broccolini. You could use broccoli, but for this method of sauteing, broccolini works a lot better. Cut the little ends off. I like a lot of vegetables for a meal like this, so I'll use 2 bunches of broccolini. And what I want to do to cut them, it's a little thick, so I'll cut the stem in half. They're nice and thin, they'll cook quick. I'll take the top, it's a little too bushy. Cut that into little pieces. So 1 stem turns into little bite-sized pieces that'll cook really fast. They're really thin, just give them a little trim. So for the broccolini, we have our broccolini, our sliced garlic, add a little red chili flake, then a half a lemon. This little side dish with the broccolini, garlic, and oil with some lemon. One of my go-tos, I'll just do like a double, triple batch of broccolini sometimes, some arugula on top, shaved Parmesan, and that'll be a meal for me when I want to kind of eat a little lighter. And it's so delicious. If you just get a little browning and color out of the broccolini, really brings out a lot of flavor and a lot of meatiness actually. So this is one element of our meal. The next element of the meal is gonna be a beautiful Caprese Arugula Salad. A little supermarket by me, known for making really great mozzarella. Farmer's market, I picked up some of my favorite, the sweetest, most delicious cherry tomatoes. Do tomatoes have sugar in them? Sure they do, but it's a natural sugar and I only eat a lot of tomatoes this time of year, which is the best time to really eat veg heavy. So you could say there's carbs in the sugar in the tomato, but I give myself that break and we're just gonna make a beautiful arugula salad out of this. So I wanna cut the tomatoes in half and the mozzarellas in half so they sort of match. Go in that length to just find that right little mozzarella, finding the right tomatoes. That's what takes a dish like this from good to world class. Find better ingredients, your cooking will go to new levels. Just have some mozzarella here, and then cherry tomatoes in half. Just got a little nice cherry tomato mix, a little nice mozzarella mix. We'll salt this, we'll put some balsamic vinegar, some good olive oil, some arugula on top, some fresh basil, which I can kind of put on right now. And then we're gonna finish it with some really good 18-month prosciutto di Parma. And it's just like a nice little salad to go along with your broccolini and a nice little sausage that we cook down in tomato sauce. So now we'll set this off to the side. We're gonna finish and dress this right before we plate. Now that brings us to our sponsor today, Porter Road. Porter Road was my favorite online butcher before they even sponsored this channel. They deliver super high quality meat directly to your door with a mission on fixing a broken food system. You can shop like you do at a local butcher shop, a la carte, or you can set up a subscription model so you can always be stocked up with the highest quality meat. They offer a huge variety of dry-aged beef, pork, chicken. All beef is dry-aged 14 days. They include rare butcher cuts and hand cut each steak using old world butcher techniques to produce cuts you won't find in the grocery store. Where are you gonna find a steak cut this thick at a normal supermarket? They work with trusted local farmers who raise their animals the right way. Their animals are raised humanely on a pasture with no added hormones or antibiotics, and they are a vertically integrated operation, which means they have full control over the entire process, allowing for more accessible prices. Porter Road's giving my viewers 15% off their order. No order limits, and that promotion will be automatically applied if you click the link down in the description. And any orders over $100 are gonna ship free to you. So thank you, Porter Road, for sponsoring this video. Today we're gonna be using some of their beautiful Italian sausages. So I've got my Italian sausage here. I'll probably end up eating 1.5. So I'm gonna cut these guys in half once they're done cooking. And essentially how I started eating this is I wanted the flavor of Sunday sauce, which I know we still have to sort of cover, and we will. But I wanted that flavor in the sauce to happen quickly. So this is like a version of a weekday Sunday sauce that we're gonna flavor a weekday sauce with pork fat and sausage like we would a Sunday sauce, which usually has like meatballs and sausage and pork fat and beef that it braises and cooks over a long time, and all that fat flavors the tomato sauce. The reason we use sausage is because meatballs have the carbs in it. These sausages have a tiny bit of sugar in them, but it's okay. It's low enough that I don't mind eating it. So we're basically making sausages cooked in weekday sauce, and we're gonna sort of treat that as like our main course, as like the pasta. So let's just get started. So we wanna get a nice high rimmed saute pan, or you could use a pot for this, and coat the bottom of the pan with extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna add the sausages to the pan once the oil's hot, and we wanna brown each side of the sausage. Once the sausage is browned, we want to transfer that to a plate, and we want to add that basil stem and the garlic to that olive oil and pork fat. A little bit of salt. We're going to add a good amount of olive oil. Cook until the garlic slightly browns around the edges, and then we want to toss in our tomato puree. It's going to suck up that pork fat and the olive oil infused with the garlic and basil, and that's going to be a ton of flavor. Once simmering, we want to get those sausages back into the sauce. And as you're going to see, the sauce is very loose right now. What we want to do, besides making it flavorful and seasoned, is to cook out all of the water in this tomato sauce until it's the right consistency. So once it's thickened enough to kind of coat the sausages, and the sausages have been cooked through to about 160 degrees, we're gonna get them out of the sauce. And we're gonna adjust the seasoning, and our sauce should be finished. While that rests, we're gonna get another pan on the stove. Again, coat it with extra virgin olive oil, and we're gonna add the broccolini. Extra virgin olive oil is really good for you, and you can use it to cook. So don't feel bad about using a decent amount of oil for this recipe. Now the key for me is developing color. So I wanna just kind of make sure the broccoli is making contact with the pan. And I just wanna leave it there like I would a steak and allow broccolini to sear. Hit it with a little bit of salt, and once we see some browning starting to develop, we can start to flip and move it around. And as you can see, you got these really dark bits of broccolini that actually are sweet, and they have a nice meatiness that really goes a long way when you're trying to eat healthy. Once the broccolini is nice and softened, we're gonna add the chili flake and the garlic. We're gonna cook that until the garlic begins to brown around the edges. Add a little bit of oil if need be. Remember that oil is that vehicle for that garlic flavor to get in the broccolini. And then once almost cooked through, we're gonna hit it with that lemon. That lemon's gonna steam the broccoli through to sort of finish cooking the broccolini that lasts like 10%. Now we gotta finish the Caprese salad, and it's sort of a salad that we build in layers. So we're gonna hit that tomato and mozzarella with some flaky sea salt. And I've got this beautiful aged balsamic vinegar. It is expensive. You only need a little bit to really get an impact. And it's made with natural evaporation, no added sugar, which is what you're looking for with a real balsamic vinegar. Now we're gonna go in with some really good extra virgin olive oil, and then we're gonna top that with like a handful of fresh arugula. On top of that, I like a little bit of Italian seasoning, followed by a little bit more sea salt on the arugula, a little bit more drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and balsamic vinegar on the arugula itself. Then we're gonna wrap some really good quality prosciutto di Parma around the arugula, sort of build some structure to the salad. And then to finish, we're gonna shave some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano on top. This salad is like a typical lunch for me in the summertime. Next, we're gonna plate the broccolini. And then for the sausage, we got our beautiful tomato sauce. We're just gonna put a nice little spoonful on the bottom of the plate. Then go in a few pieces of the sausage. I cut mine in half just to fit the plate a little bit better. Finish it off with a little bit more tomato sauce, some Parmigiano Reggiano, and some fresh basil. You've got all the flavor of like a Sunday sauce with meatballs and everything, and pasta. None of the pasta, none of the carbs, all the flavor. And then you have this arugula salad. You've got phenomenal ingredients inside. Those tomatoes, the mozzarella. It's a really great salad to keep you satisfied. And the broccolini, you can't beat it. If you want, never hurt to hit it with some Parmigiano. To be honest, I get more excited about the veg than I do the meat these days. Recipe for all of these goodies is gonna be linked down in the description. Make sure you grab that 15% off your first Porter Road order. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself. If you're like me and you love Italian food, I got a bunch more Italian videos I want you to check out. A few of them are on the screen right now. If you got nothing else going on, why don't you give them a watch? May I suggest this whipped ricotta?